Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie show on planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming to you live from John's YouTube channel. John is still sick. He is sick as a dog. He is hopefully going to come back on Monday. If not, the Batman Beyond team is here to help you out, whether you like it or not. Hopefully you mostly like it. I'm Chris Carr, filling in still in the big chair, having fun, enjoying my life over here. But of course, I am not alone while we talk about movies, streaming, a little bit of wrestling, all kinds of good stuff. I'm joined by everyone else on our team here, like Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett, the Robinator.
I'm now the
Robiter.
Hey, look, man, so many people threw that Simpsons old man shouting at clouds meme at me that I've decided, it was a revelation. I woke up with a big smile on my face. Mm-hmm. I am now the gatekeeper of fandom. I am now the Robitrator.
There we go.
Of whether or not you really know your stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't care if it's anime, video games, music, movies, books, television shows. If your taste does not pass my muster, or your knowledge doesn't pass, I'm going to gatekeep. I feel that this is because you know what? Everybody complains, but they all want to be. Everybody wants to be absolved of their lack of knowledge. Mm-hmm. I am here to tell you, I'm going to be like all of the people on Krypton before it blew up, going guilty at the beginning of Superman the movie. I'm going to be much happier in my new role as the Robitrator of all things fandom.
Oh man, well the internet is going to love that energy and stance.
I hope so.
They're going to be all about it.
I hope so. I'm sure that everyone's going to be really nice to me on social media now that they have a place to go to finally have somebody tell them whether or not they are worthy fans.
I love it. Good for you. Love that journey for you, Rob.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Somebody whose energy everyone always seems to love is Mr. Ray Ora. Ray, how you doing?
I got your Instagram. Am I on your Twitter? I need to unfollow that too.
Oh, on mine?
You're unfollowing me?
Yeah.
How can you unfollow
of this
Robitrator
of the Roberator?
No, I will be in Robitration with you, Ray. Robitration. Would you like to be in Robitration with me?
Oh, no, I'm not doing anything with your Roberator.
Robitrator.
Oh.
Like an arbitrator, but me.
It's very much not the same thing, right? It's very different.
Roberator. I love it.
Oh my goodness. Joining us and making sure some of this chaos is under control at some point is producer Jonathan. Jonathan, how you doing?
Well, I'm just taking it all in. But I'm doing good.
I'm proud of us for making this far. It's Friday. You've all made it through the week. We've mostly made it through the week. We just got this and an after show to do, and then we get to go have a nice little weekend ourselves. Also, happy Juneteenth. Hope y'all are celebrating that today too. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. And hey, if you want to listen to this podcast form, right? If you can't watch us on YouTube, you want to get all these lovely dirty jokes and movie news things and everything still, but you don't want your boss to know you are slacking, you can check this out in podcast form over wherever you get your podcasts. Go find the John Campea Show podcast. Give us a rating. Let us know how great you think we are. We'd really appreciate that. And then you can also listen to our companion video, Mailbag, in which we answer all your questions and comments, too. Anything that we deem worthy and exciting, we pop on over to Mailbag. So
I will Robitrate that.
He will. He will Robitrate the heck out of it. All right.
Since the weekend is coming up, right? I just wanted to point out there's movies coming out this weekend. Lightyear, right?
Yeah.
For everybody.
Which you loved?
Yeah. So everyone, I don't know what else is coming out this weekend. What else is there? Top Gun.
Top Gun's
still out. You know, Jurassic World. We got the Bob's Burgers movie. Go out if you're not kicking ass at that on that Ninja Turtles game with me this weekend. Yeah. Go out and see a movie. I didn't know it was free for people who have Xbox Game Pass. I just started downloading it last night. I'm like, I haven't even opened the game. Mm-hmm. When I get home, it's time. It's turtle time, baby.
Turtle time?
We're about to run through that game, beat that thing. Hopefully, even by tonight, let's do it. So whoever's joining me, I'll be on that. But if not, go see a movie this weekend. Lightyear's really good. Jurassic World, I don't know. You guys haven't seen it, right? Jurassic World?
I still haven't seen it, and I still need to go see Lightyear. I had to stay up and watch The Boys.
Are you guys the type that if you don't see it within the first 2 weeks that it opens, you're probably not going to see it in the theaters?
I am like
or
that.
will
Yeah,
you see
me
a
too.
movie even after like 3 weeks it's been out or something like that?
Usually I have to be in there in the first week or two. Otherwise, I don't see it till it comes on streaming.
Yeah, I have that rule too.
Yeah.
I'm kind of bummed, like, because I didn't get to see Top Guns, and I wanted to see it in 4DX, and I don't think it's playing in there now. So I'm like,
Yeah, I know.
Go to the in NoHo. It should be. I think it's still playing there.
maybe I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
See it in the theater.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I'm saying, like, I'd like to see it in 4DX.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. All the
'Cause Jurassic
sound
World
editing in
took
that
all
too is
those.
going to be so good in
Right.
40X. Oh my gosh. Well, guys, let's get into some things. We're doing the show still a little differently. Once again, we do not have access to John's email, so we don't have access to your emails. So we are treating the show as a series of off the top. So we're just going to go through a whole bunch of movie news with you. Make sure you're engaging with us in the chat if you are watching this live, and that way we can interact with each other as we go through this before we get to all of your super chats at the end of our show.
And I look forward to judging everyone.
Oh man, Rob, this is a place of peace and love, baby. Peace and love.
I've finally reached my place of peace and love.
That's
That's
true.
my revelation.
Is it Rob Shim the Judge?
Love Rob Shim the
Rob
Judge.
Shim.
That's perfect.
Rob Shim the Judge.
Well, let's dive into some topics then that you can give us your heart opinions on, Rob. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, I
Perfect.
will.
All
I
right.
will arbitrate.
Lovely. Well, hey, topic number one. Let's jump in here. We are first kicking things off talking about what is going on over at the WWE. Vince McMahon is stepping aside as they are looking into allegations of misconduct against him. Now, I really wanted to talk about this because I am newer to the wrestling fandom. It's something I got into in the last few years, but I know Ray is really, really into wrestling as well. No, not as much anymore.
We'll go over
We'll
it
get
a
into
little
it. We'll get into it.
bit. Yeah, we'll get into it.
Well, basically, McMahon is stepping aside as he's facing alleged executive misconduct allegations, and this is being researched. We're not going to get too much into the allegations here because that is not what we do on this show. That is not our job. Despite what we've said about having hard opinions, we are not judge, jury, and executioner on all things like this. We're not in the room. Meanwhile, his daughter, Stephanie McMahon, who was stepping aside for a while to just engage with her own family more, do things of her own time, she is going to be taking over as CEO during this time as the board is investigating everything. So what I really wanted to get into is this going to change anything about wrestling, Ray? Are we going to see some different things with the WWE for now?
You know, I'm hoping it's for the better. I think wrestling is one of those things where you have to really stick it with because the demographic is all over the place.
Oh, absolutely.
From kids. I actually think it's a really difficult thing to write for and keep people interested. Like with me, I could go back into it and be into it for like a week because of a particular storyline and completely drop it off the next week because that storyline's done or I'm not interested anymore. It's a very tough thing to actually keep people watching. Vince McMahon, there was a time in the early 2000s where he was putting out a product that everyone was watching. When Stone Cold was there, the writing, I was addicted. I was recording that every time it came on, watching it, rewatching it. But that's changed, and I don't know if it has to do with his age or whatever, but in my opinion, he's been making some of the, or at least allowing some of the worst moves I thought would never happen. He let go of Bray Wyatt, which he had a character, The Fiend, which I was really digging. Mm-hmm. Let him go probably for money reasons because they had signed a deal. Just these superstars that could have, because right now, their product is showcasing one or two people, at the very top.
They're really pushing Roman Reigns.
Yeah, before it used to be, you could pick from the litter, and any of them could be the next one. There were so many guys that I liked watching, wrestle, guys and girls. Now it's just they give you one person, and if you don't like them, then they leave you lost picking through everybody that's you see them as not even the same level as that top person. They're so low that even if you pick him, they're not going to do anything. They won't get the title. They won't beat that top guy.
Well, you'll see them paired with other wrestlers.
It's just it's not interesting right now. There's a couple storylines that I go on YouTube for just to watch a replay of because I think it's funny. I think there's one with Kevin Owens that he's doing right now. Yeah. It's really funny.
The Kevin Owens podcast is fantastic.
I think it's funny, but other than that, there's nothing. I hope it makes the product better because I hate to say it because Vince McMahon has been a part of this for the longest and he's had his hands in everything for so long. But I think his age is catching up to him where he's not getting with what's going on now or what people like now. He's reverting too much to what used to be before. And since people know about everything about wrestling, how it's scripted and all those things, they're a lot smarter when watching it now.
Yeah.
So you really got to change with that. And he hasn't. He's it's time for a new person to run this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he could be there. I mean, I would love for him to see that whatever changes, hopefully they're good, can happen without him there. Because that's what I really think he needs to see. Because every time they fail, I believe he puts it on him and he makes these moves, but these moves aren't helping the product anymore.
I agree with you on this. I think we're relying on so many media platforms right now, right? We're relying on a lot of nostalgia, right? Bringing back Stone Cold, having Vince get in the ring himself recently. And then we're relying on big names or legacy wrestlers like Roman Reigns, who maybe this isn't a particularly popular opinion, I find very boring. I find Roman Reigns to be a very boring wrestler, and they rely heavily on having valets or other wrestlers who are playing opposite against him, rising up and making his storylines more interesting. So I'm with you. I would like to see some fresh takes in here.
I also want to make it clear, we're just talking about the WWE product right now.
Yeah.
It's like we're not including all the other, because we know there's AEW, another big wrestling organization. They have their own thing going. We're just talking about Vince McMahon and what he's done for this company and what it is right now. And it's not a good product. I mean, I could drop it tomorrow if I don't find anything interesting. And one person, that's only me. What if there's a ton of people out there that have the same mentality?
Yeah.
You got to keep this fresh. You got to keep the storylines unique and somewhat based. I think people like things that seem real now. Seem like if people don't like each other, you wanna feel that they don't like each other, because that's what gets you to watch the outcome of that rivalry. Now it's all just clown goofiness. Like sometimes you need to put that realism there if you can in a scripted product.
I mean, that's why I fell in love with Bianca Belair when she did that hair whip on Sasha Banks and actually cut her stomach open. And I was like, there are stakes here. Ladies, y'all are savage. This is wild. Her fight against Becky Lynch was incredible. I mean, the women's league is what's really keeping me focused here. But I'm hoping that the golden thing that comes out of this, the silver lining, if you will, of these allegations, of this shakeup and everything, is that we see the product change, like you're saying.
I mean, can you name your favorite male wrestler, female wrestler right now in WWE?
I love Kevin Owens.
Yeah,
I think
Kevin
he's great.
Owens.
I also love Otis.
I'm with Seth right now. Seth Rollins, no
Seth
matter
Rollins
what they give him, it
He sells
feels
it.
like he just owns it. Like this new character gimmick, I was like, man, this is not going to work. And then his music starts getting catchy, and then everything he does is not annoying anymore. It's actually funny to me. And a female, it's always been Alexa Bliss, and they really trashed her after trying to make her the Fiend. It's disappointing.
Sometimes those heel turns don't work and everything, which is a bummer. But question is, guys, what do you think of this shakeup? Do you think having Vince McMahon step down for now is for the best? Do you think that his daughter is the best fit for this role for the interim? Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Oh, I didn't thank you that you watched wrestling, Rob.
It's okay. I was going to tell you a story about when I worked for Vince McMahon, but that's okay.
Good. No,
That's okay.
No,
Rob, I want to hear
didn't
about
know
this.
this.
When John's talked about wrestling in the past, you usually don't chime in. That's why I was
No,
like,
I don't know anything about wrestling. I'm just going to tell you a quick Vince McMahon self-serving story.
Please.
So, do you remember the XFL?
Oh, yes.
So
sir.
Vince McMahon was one of the Machiavellian brainchild persons. He was one of the people that started the original XFL, the Extreme Football League. I was working for NBC at the time as a producer editor.
Ooh.
And I was tasked with the job of doing the XFL cheerleader commercials. And so I did not shoot this footage, but I was given the footage and they said, do something with it. So I wrote these spots and cut them together.
Nice.
And when you do these, you have to do voiceover. So I did my own voiceover. And then they approved the spots. And this Vince McMahon's office had to approve these spots. So he personally was approving them. Then we brought in Don LaFontaine, the voice who's no longer with us. You've heard his voice in a million commercials.
In a world.
Yes, he was the original In a World guy. He voices the spots. We turn the spots in. I get a call from Vince McMahon himself.
The man himself.
From the man.
From the man himself. And he said, I don't want this voice on these spots. I want the other guy. I go, the other guy? Yeah, the original guy. Who's the original guy? I didn't say it was me. So he goes, I want that guy on the spots. So.
Was it you, though?
It was me.
Right. The voice he wanted was.
This was me. It was my voice.
They wanted you over Fontaine?
They wanted me over Don LaFontaine. So,
Damn, bro.
because I was working there, I couldn't do because it's a union lot. I couldn't do the voiceover.
Yeah.
So I had to outsource my own spots. We had to hire a director, and I had to go in, and the director had to direct me voicing my own voice on my own spots, on my own copy. And not only that, I had to join AFTRA. And I made tens of thousands of extra dollars because these spots were everywhere. And I had to do end tags like KSFO in San Francisco, whatever, any station. So I had to do the entire summer. And by the way, you can see these commercials.
Yes, that's what I was going to
They're on my YouTube channel. The XFL cheerleader commercials. Now, I would get canceled for these commercials today. I just want you to know I did not conceive of them. I just inherited the footage that was directed by John Benito. And that is my voice. And thank you, Vince McMahon, because Vince McMahon was, in the summer of 2000, was responsible for me getting paid.
Dang.
Tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh, and you joined after when the getting was good, when it was a lower price tag to get into the union too. Oh, I'm jealous.
And, people have always said I should do voice.
I was going to say.
The only voiceover I've ever done.
Our viewer, Andy's going to lose his mind and go find those. He always wants you to do ASMR. Now he's going to be like, ads from Rob.
I'm telling you. Now, by the way, don't come at me and say how misogynistic they are.
Man.
I know they're very misogynistic spots. I am still proud of the work I did.
Oh, man. I am so glad that we found this out about you.
Yeah, Rob, can you actually point to your wall of Hot Toys and say which ones Vince McMahon paid for?
Actually, Hot Toys didn't exist back then.
Oh.
Back then. But the very first Hot Toy I ever bought was the director. It was a bootleg. They hadn't become the Hot Toys that we know and love, but it was of George Lucas. And I still have it.
That is awesome. Well, hey,
so there's my Vince McMahon story. Thank you, Mr. McMahon.
You have been part of Hollywood for so long that you have a story with every single person or medium.
It's
wild to me.
It's pretty funny. I might be unknown and not financially successful, but I've had a lot of fun. And now that I'm the final arbiter of all of your fandom.
Oh my God, you're running with that name still. Jeez, you're really making this real, huh?
Are you kidding? The people on Twitter were coming at me so hard today. I'm gonna lean into it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if we can only hear you thank Star Trek, I hope to be alive when that happens.
Oh, that's going to be a great time.
Well, I don't want to say it. John will get mad.
Okay. Well, let's move on.
Folks, make sure that you weigh in, though, on this WWE situation. Let us know what you think about Rob's old commercials. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts.
They're on YouTube.
Go find them. All right, moving on. Let's get into some numbers here. We now know that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness has passed the 400 million domestic mark as of Wednesday, as of today, or yesterday? What day is it? Friday. We've been here for so long.
It is Friday.
It's Friday.
But that puts it in the top 10 of MVP titles.
The studio. We've just been here.
We've just been here. Oh my God.
I just wish I could walk around with this kind of lighting on me all the time.
Oh, I know. We look so cute right now.
I'll do my best.
Jonathan does great work.
I'll try to get a mobile lighting unit.
This is why when people head over to our Instagram, so they're like, "You okay? You tired?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just not lit well."
Yeah, I can't take producer Jonathan with me everywhere I go.
It looks so pretty. But yeah, so we have these big numbers coming though, still from Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which what I think goes to show here, it's still. Keeping it in the theater was the right move. Sending it to streaming really negates these box office numbers. There's still money to be made here. Rob, what do you make of this?
This is a huge result. We've gotten so jaded. Well, it doesn't make $1 billion and it's not good. But this film is closing in on that worldwide. It's within striking distance. It's within $100 million. I think last time I looked, it was at like 930. It's at 950 million now. That's a huge result.
Yeah.
And that didn't even open in China.
Or Russia.
Mm-hmm. So, and two markets that like genre cinema and like the MCU. So this is big numbers. And I thought Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was lower tier Marvel for me. I liked it, but I equated it to reading like a summer annual. Mm-hmm. It was great, but it wasn't. It was fun, but it wasn't earth-shaking. And it really, in a way, it was kind of a side story to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Obviously, the multiverse is a huge deal, but if Doctor Strange shows up and people ask him, what have you been doing? He's like, I've been in the multiverse. You would not believe the people I've met. Everyone else would be like, what?
Yeah.
Like the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he'd have to explain other than to Wanda.
Dude, we've had Celestials popping out of the ocean. Where the hell have you been?
Yeah, where have you been, dude? Where have you been?
About your alternate dimension.
There's monsters on the streets of London. But that's true, and I liked it for that reason. Not everything has to be adjacent or has to have some major, even though it did have major implications for us, the viewers. But for people inside the MCU, they don't know. But still, the movie was a lot of fun. It was great to see Sam Raimi come back after a number of years from not directing. I think this was very much a Sam Raimi movie through and through.
When you lean into the Raimi of it, it's so fun.
I had so much fun with this movie. I saw it twice. I can't wait to get the 4K. And there's going to be an audio commentary from Sam Raimi. And there's not usually audio commentaries on the Marvel disc. So that's exciting. I mean, I think this is a great result. I think, once again, this is the 28th MCU movie. And it's in the top 10 in terms of earning.
It is.
That's astonishing in terms of Kevin Feige's track record. There's a lot of naysayers that say, well, Phase 4 doesn't have much focus and direction. I think there's some truth to that, actually. But I still think...
but there's truth.
There's truth, because, I'm going to... Well, never mind. My truths, the truths, Rob's truths should be your truths. But the thing is... still a great result. The 28th MCU film making almost $1 billion. Yeah. This is a great result for Disney, a great result for everyone. So
I agree.
I'm excited.
It's really great. This is now domestically the 9th biggest grossing May release, the 10th for an MCU film, the 15th of all superhero movies, and 42nd of all movies in general. So it's been bringing in really, really great numbers. And again, I think it goes to show, let your movies be in theaters for as long as possible. The audience will still come there, even if they are... some of us, like you and me, we don't go see a movie after about 2 weeks. People are still coming in for those repeat viewings, though, I think, of this.
And look at how cute Wanda Maximoff is.
Oh, man, look at her.
By the way,
adorable and terrifying.
Her Hot Toys, the WandaVision version, could be coming in any day now.
Ooh.
The Vision was released. She's coming up next.
Oh, man, you're going to get that Hot Toy. It's going to look wonderful in the observatory. Excited for you. Well, guys, let us know what you think about these numbers for Doctor Strange. Are you surprised, or did this make all the money like you thought it would? Let us know how you're feeling about this in the comments down below. Now, you always get your Hot Toys delivered to you, Rob, and something else that can get delivered to you: fresh, tasty food from the folks over at HelloFresh.
Guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, HelloFresh. Let me take a second to tell you why my wife Ann and I love HelloFresh. As two working professionals, at the end of the day, it can be tough to get dinner together, and HelloFresh saves us loads of time, money, and most importantly, gives us great tasting and nutritious meals. And no joke, with the easy to follow along instructions, Ann and I actually have a blast cooking dinner together. And they're so foolproof, even I can do it alone when Ann's not there. And HelloFresh now has over 30 dinner recipes to choose from every single week. That is the most choices of any meal kit out there. Customize your favorite dishes with new Hello Custom offerings by swapping out one protein or side for another, upgrading for a more luxe experience, or even adding protein to a veggie meal. So guys, right now, go to HelloFresh.com/Campea16 and use the code Campea16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. Once again, that's HelloFresh.com/Campea16. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
And thank you once again to everyone over at HelloFresh. Remember, guys, whenever you use those Campea codes, it doesn't just help you out, it helps us out. And it makes our boss happy that we're continuing to get those bills paid, keep the lights on here. So we appreciate you.
Plus, it's good food.
It's good food, yeah. If you're not a strong chef, it honestly is very, very helpful because it does help you mise en place and everything. You have everything that you need. You've got all your steps in order.
You can speak French?
Only about food. My language abilities start and end with finding bathrooms and food.
That's a great superpower to have, though.
I'm such a worldly woman. Let's keep going here. Speaking of worldly things, we are going to talk about some amazing anime stuff that is happening because we love anime. So I'm excited to get into this with you, Rob. So we have not only one, but 2 stories regarding this, basically. So GKIDS has just acquired the North American rights to Evangelion 3.0, the theatrical release, which is going to be very, very exciting. We are going to see Evangelion up on the big screen, the highly anticipated 4th and final installment of this kind of rebuild franchise that they're doing, which is very, very, very cool. Yeah.
The 4th movie? Is this the 4th? Because
it's the 4th.
It's the 4th.
I'm just trying to think about what's on Netflix or Amazon. It's Amazon.
Amazon has it, I think.
Amazon, the 3rd movie or this?
I think the 3rd movie. this is going to be in theaters and then probably streaming shortly afterwards.
Okay, because yes, I'm confused because I love these movies, and the last one that is now on Amazon which bums me out because I have you. I guess I have 3. I guess this is the 4th one. Trying to figure it out. It's bonkers. But so they're releasing in the theaters the 4th movie that's already on Amazon.
That is what it is looking like here. So basically what we've got comes from Deadline. Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 Thrice Upon a Time was released in Japanese theaters in 2021, where it was a critical and box office success, becoming the highest grossing film of the year at about $85 million in local box office. Now, GKIDS plans to release the anticipated film in theaters in late 2022, marking the first time Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.01 Thrice Upon a Time will be available in theaters in North America since its domestic release. A release on home entertainment platforms will follow, with dates to be announced.
Yes, because that has been frustrating not to be able to get this on Blu-ray.
Right? Well, and seeing these things, any kind of big epic anime, getting to see this in a theater is always so much more fun. Anytime you can have space, giant robots, anything like that on a big screen.
And this movie is bonkers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bonkers in it.
It's very, very exciting stuff. Along with it, too, we also had this news of Crunchyroll picking up the animated classic sequel to Trigun Stampede. So we'll continue following Vash the Stampede and everything.
I'm a big fan of that as well.
I love
That's
Trigun.
some classic anime.
It's very exciting stuff. But what I wanted to talk to you about both of these things, Rob, is we were talking the other day about, adaptations of anime, appeasing Western audiences and the Western sensibility. But obviously, North American audiences crave anime content. So I wanted to talk to you about, why do you think we're seeing such a boom in this content? And why do you think people are so ravenous for it?
Well, it's interesting. When I was growing up, I'm dating myself, but you had like Kimba the White Lion, you had Marine Boy, you had Speed Racer, and then during the early 80s, a lot of the Japanese super robot cartoons were coming over, like Gai King and Star Avengers, which is Getter Robo G, which was a sequel to Getter Robo, Go Nagai's Getter Robo. I was a huge fan of all that stuff. And of course, I love, still one of my favorite things ever is Space Battleship Yamato, or as we know it in the States, Star Blazers. And then of course, Robotech, which was Macross, Southern Cross, and Genesis Climber Mospeada. I'm dating myself horribly. Vampire Hunter D, and there was all this kind of stuff. And what was appealing about it was there was a different sensibility that was going on in these shows that we didn't have here in America. And I think a lot of the real robot and super robot shows, the mecha shows, the Japanese anthropomorphize their machines the way we don't. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I always loved about Star Blazers, and I think I was talking about on the show earlier, was the idea that the Yamato, which had been sunk in World War II, could get resurrected because of Queen Starsha of Iskandar, sending us the technology and putting in a wave motion gun and a wave motion engine and sending it aloft into space. Or Galaxy Express, 999, that there's a train in space, which I loved too. Mm-hmm. Masamoto Leijei's stuff. I loved all that stuff. And it just is different. There's a sensibility, also the way kids are treated. There's a weird snark that has infected American children's programming. I blame, starting with The Simpsons. I call it the Bart Simpson effect. Where Bart Simpson was always smarter than his parents. Japanese programming, kids are more kid-like in a way. They're not snarky, and they're not, well, maybe some are, but there's a different thing going on that I actually think is
responsibility and great destiny.
Yes, and all of that, and the hero's journey. And I think that that's something that kids crave that has been removed from a lot of American children's programming. And like you said, destiny. And I think manga is doing very, very well, whereas American comic books are not. I think because everyone here in America, we want to change. We want to change everyone's perceptions and be more. We're willing to compromise the stories that we're being told right now for different kinds of ideas and ideologies. And I think the Japanese are not. The Japanese are staying truer to these classical stories that they continually draw upon. And I think there's truth. There's more truth in anime and manga there. Truth for what it means to be human and what we aspire to and what friendship and all of those traditional values. That when I say traditional values, I mean traditional values in storytelling. Those epic ancient ideas that are in these stories. I think that manga and anime does a really great job. And plus, they do it, and I would call it in a very Baroque fashion.
Yeah.
And I love all that. Like Howl's Moving Castle. Look at Miyazaki's work. You look at Howl's Moving Castle, no Americans would come up with something like, and I'm sure somebody might would in America, but that's what makes anime so great. Miyazaki stuff alone.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. And the sensibility in all of it is not a Western sensibility. And yet there's a universality to the storytelling that is just wonderful that I don't think we can do in the United States.
I think there's also a lovely note too of in anime and manga, it is always, I'll do my best. It's not the same idea of American excellence of I have to be the best, despite what the Pokemon theme song in American and in English tells us, right? It's about trying your best, doing the best work that you can, being in competition with yourself ultimately, which is very interesting. And I love that. The idea of almost swim team, you're staying in your lane.
Joel actually had this, Joel in the chat actually had the same question I had. If you were to sum up, if you're trying to sell me this series that we're talking about, I can't even pronounce the
Evangelion?
Evangelion?
Yeah. How would you describe it? Just to give, because a lot of us don't even know what this property is about. What would you say is the main pulling point?
I think if people even love this series have been debating that.
But the basic gist of it.
I mean,
is it can you sum
Kaiju
it up?
descending upon Earth.
I mean, yeah. Okay, so it's really hard to explain because you have these things called, well, there's some. How would you get into this? How would you explain this? You could say, hey, it is about a young man who is accepting the mantle of responsibility of being able to drive an Evangelion, an Eva.
Yeah, like a robot.
To save, giant robot, to save the Earth against these monster kaiju existential creatures called angels from destroying the world.
It's very Pacific Rim-esque.
Okay.
But it also has a very religious and existential overtone to it all about creation, about destruction, and it's transcendence.
Is that something they shove in your face though?
No.
Okay.
But it is a deep show though, because it's you come for the kaiju and robots and you stay for the existential conflict.
Yes, and the relationships and some of the imagery in this film is incredible. I mean, the scope of it, the battles, it's just monstrously huge. But this is different than, say, Gundam.
Yeah.
Gundam, the entire Gundam franchise is basically an anti-war series, you know, and it deals with that. It's wartime, life during wartime, and all the different iterations of Gundam. There's the Universal Century Gundams, and then there's the offshoots like Wing Gundam and things like that. But this is more existential and more religious in nature, even though it's about giant robots fighting giant monsters.
And I'm going to throw in my choice for best children's cartoon. And it's not Japanese or it's not even American. It's Australian.
Ooh.
It's Bluey. Have you seen that show, Bluey, with the
Bluey's
dog
precious.
family? It's so good. I mean...
I'm too old.
No, I mean, it's on Disney Plus. It's such a cute show. I mean,
tunes are for
I'd watch
everybody.
that.
Tunes are for everyone. I do want to just touch on, too, though, this theatrical release of Evangelion. It does bring up something near and dear to me, the pay discrepancy for dub actors. And I understand not everyone's into dubs. Some people are going to see the subbed. Some people are going to see it that way, and that's the only way for them. But dub actors, though, I remember back in the day when I was starting over at Sentai Filmworks, and I loved working for them. And you think, oh my gosh, I'm making $90 an hour. This is incredible. What a cool thing. These movies are bringing in huge box office numbers. And these dub actors who a lot of you follow on, Instagram and Twitter, they have to have survival jobs because they can't sustain their livelihoods because they're paid so little. And I do think that's something that needs to be part of the conversation too, as we're bringing these things over to the US for theatrical releases.
Shout out to Sentai Filmworks, who put the single most expensive piece of physical media out that I ever bought.
Oh, yeah?
Which was my favorite anime of all time, Legends of the Galactic Heroes. They put out a box set for $800.
Woo!
And you know what? When they did that, I was like, click.
Let's
I
go
didn't even
Sentai.
think twice. Thank you,
loved
Sentai
working for them.
Filmworks.
They were real, real great. I loved them. But I do think that's something that we just have to come to terms with, though, too, of making sure that talent is compensated fairly when you're bringing in all this cheddar.
You know what, though? You don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate.
For. This is very, very true. It's just, when you're a young, sweet, starry-eyed little dub actor, they'll go, you want to put me in your movie? Okay.
But you'll be able to make convention money for the rest of your life.
Oh, maybe. Some of them do. Some of them do. But let us know your thoughts about all of this, guys, in the comments down below. Are you excited about these new releases coming to the States? How are you feeling about them? Did you even know about Evangelion before? And do you want to check it out now that you know a little bit more about it?
And especially the interesting story between the series itself and these new remake movies.
Exactly. There's a lot of cool stuff going on here. So let us know your takes in the comments down below. All right, with that down and out of the way, let's move on to a little bit of Star Wars news. Yay! So this is coming from Deadline. We've got Taika Waititi talking about how his Star Wars movie will be something new, involving new characters who will expand the world. Oh, how vague. How very, very vague. Now, we've been talking about this a lot this week, though, Rob. Having Star Wars give us new stories. Perhaps leaving Tatooine. Perhaps leaving the Skywalker saga finally. How are you feeling about Taika bringing something fresh to the Star Wars universe?
Well, I mean, as an emergent filmmaker, Taika's been doing a really great job all the way from beginning with What We Do in the Shadows, that film, and then the Wilder People.
Wilder People?
Yeah, the Wilder People.
Wilder
People. And then, of course, Jojo Rabbit, and then his Thor films. I mean, he's really come out as a unique voice that can combine pathos and comedy with really serious material. And I think that his brand of film would fit well in the Star Wars universe, because I think, you know what? Let's move away from galaxy-defining conflicts, because there's a million stories in the world in the Star Wars universe. I mean, it would be interesting to see him take on somebody in the Star Wars universe. Like, I don't know if he's going to have a charming rogue, like a Han Solo-esque character or something like that. But whatever he's going to do, I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be action-packed. It's going to be thoughtful. And it's going to combine all of these things. It'll be swashbuckling. The things that I think Star Wars needs. Because in a way, we've been limited. We haven't seen anything. The Star Wars universe is vast, and even shows like The Mandalorian are still they're still adjacent to things that we've already seen. Okay, we've seen The Mandalorians on we saw Boba Fett first in the holiday special, then in Empire. So all of this stuff is still variations on a theme. I would like to see a different kind, let's call it music. If there's classical music and country western, and we've been getting a singular genre of music, maybe he'll bring the punk rock to the Star Wars universe.
Ooh, I would love that. That would be wonderful. Well, let's turn to Deadline.
Or the hip hop.
Ooh, yeah. Let's see what he actually had to say about all this. The director warned as much in a recent interview with Toto Film, saying, quote, "Look, I think for the Star Wars universe to expand, it has to expand. I don't think I'm any use in the Star Wars universe making a film where everyone's like, oh, great, well, that's the blueprints for the Millennium Falcon. That's Chewbacca's grandmother. That all stands alone." The director went on to say, "I would like to take something new and create some new characters and just expand the world. Otherwise, it feels like it's a very small story." And I agree. That's something that I've had a big problem with, is the Dickensian nature of the Star Wars universe. Everyone knows everyone and or is related to each other, right? It's a very, very tightly wound web of interconnecting stories. And while that definitely has a place in storytelling, I'm ready to see what other stories are out in that universe.
Well, I mean, think about it. We were talking about the skies over Coruscant and all the traffic in those skies. We don't know about anybody who's driving any of those speeders through the skies of Coruscant. They all have stories.
That's very true.
I mean, there are 10,000 stories in the Naked City. This is one of them. I mean, that should be the new mantra of the Star Wars universe.
It made me really want to have the Law and Order dun-dun after it, though.
Absolutely. Dun-dun. I mean, think about all the different kinds of tales that can be told.
Exactly. There's so many different types of species, stories, people. Everything is happening here all at once. So I'd love to dive into some of that. Ray, if we do some kind of off-the-wall storytelling for Star Wars, does that entice you? I know that you're a more casual Star Wars fan, so how are you feeling about this kind of stuff?
You know, anything is actually new to me. Like, even all this stuff that we're watching right now is new to me. As long, like I say with everything, anything you watch or enjoy reading, watching, whatever, you should be entertained, have fun, like get something out of it. if you feel like you've wasted your time after watching, reading anything, that's not good. That's almost like a wrestler walking out and he's not getting booed or cheered. Like, you don't want to be in that position where if you're making stuff, creating stuff, and people feel like they've wasted 2 hours, 1 hour of the time, it's not a good thing. So just give me something that I could enjoy. I mean, that's what everything, I guess. I mean, I'm so generic in my answer, but Taika,
yeah.
he has a interesting mind. I really like what he comes up with. So it'll be interesting to see, because his I think from what he's saying, he's got a open palette to create anything, because it could just be a whole new different planet. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
But I can't wait to see what he comes up with, because I know I'm going to be laughing some of that time, because there's always going to be some of those moments with his stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's maybe it's what Star Wars needs, just a different perspective, a different sort of angle, different sort of personality to show us a different world, I guess, which what he wants to do.
So very well.
I mean, but then at the same time, why would you call it Star Wars? I want to see how he gets all that together, where we know it's still Star Wars, but yet it's something completely different. It's going to be hard.
What we do on Mustafar, a Star Wars story.
But you could also do things like what's the train, the trains, Hell and High Water. It's not that, but the TV series about the trains.
Is it the fast train? The one that
I know.
Hell
on Wheels.
Hell on Wheels, right?
Okay.
So what if you did a Star Wars movie about the families that like run the Kuat shipyards where they build the Star Destroyers, and you had some merchant princes or warring, like the 5 families in The Godfather, but they're in charge of building the different ships of the Star Wars universe, and they're arch rivals, and some bitter captains of industry that they themselves are backstabbing. They go to war with one another. Like, what does that look like?
That'd be fun.
I mean, I'd watch that movie.
On Taika's themes that he usually does too, of chosen family versus true family, all those kinds of things. I think there's a lot of potential here.
No Vespas though.
No Vespas.
No, thank
Hard
you.
no on Vespas.
I mean, what if you
Taika,
did like
no.
the Nicolas Cage movie Lord of War, who he plays a guy who sells arms to everybody here on Earth? Well, what if there's some great arms dealer that's arming both sides, and some in the Star Wars universe, and he has to deal with all the people that manufacture these things, and maybe he has kyber crystals that he's like
counterfeit
dealing.
kyber crystals he sells on eBay.
If you want to go that way, sure. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, that's, of course, where eBay originated.
Yeah.
Location, Tatooine, shipping, about 1,000 years.
It'll be great. I'd tune into that.
Free
still.
shipping, just 1,000 years.
Well, guys, the question is up for you. What do you think about Taika bringing in some newness to the Star Wars universe? Does that get you excited? Do you feel like this is a little bit of a nothing burger? Let us know how you're feeling about his take on the Star Wars franchise. All right. With that down, let's talk about, in a very non-spoiler way, last night's episode of The Boys. Some things went down. Some alliances perhaps are being formed. A lot of things are happening. Rob, what did you think of episode 5?
Well, look, the first 4 episodes of The Boys were pretty jaw-dropping. And this episode was, I mean, a lot of big stuff happened, but to me, this was kind of a breather episode. Let's take a breath. Let's sort of reconfigure where everything is. We've seen some shifting alliances. Frenchie has a new problem in his life. So everybody does. Like everybody, certainly the board of Vought now are in fear for their lives. I mean, there's a great boardroom scene with Homelander that I really enjoyed. They're setting the stage, and of course, Soldier Boy is stateside.
Yeah.
And that conflict, wherever that's going, is definitely, and all the different relationships that people have with one another. And Seth Rogen.
We
got to watch Seth Rogen doing something I never thought I'd see Seth Rogen just doing.
I always felt I would.
Did you see?
Yeah.
I was like, wow,
I was
Seth.
like, that's going to happen at some point.
Seth really went for it.
Yeah.
He looks good.
I appreciate it. He's looking great.
He looks good.
He's
I have
looking
no
great.
idea what
Seth is fearless.
Was that vague enough? Right?
It's got me so peaked.
No, I mean, while it didn't have, people explode, well, I mean, not exploding the way we've seen them.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really interesting. I found it to be compelling. It didn't have the visceral thrills that The Boys has had, but still a really compelling episode. Really interesting to see the character interplay and everybody's kind of, the Starlight relationship. Yeah. She's not happy.
No.
And she's rightfully not happy. And, some friends of ours are dipping into the little compound V more than they should.
Right. A lot of things are going on here. I love that you've talked about the relationships here, because that's really what stood out to me on this episode, was there was a lot more character development and a lot more of the lovely relationship work happening here of how everyone is feeling about each other and their choices. And that's ultimately what this episode is about, is taking stands and seeing where you lie on things. And if that then changes how you think about those close to you. Are your morals going to affect mine? Are my morals going to affect how you feel about me and how we can interact from this point on? Which is a really very wild and deep thing to talk about on a show where we've seen someone climb into a urethra.
And I really think too that
Rob Raider.
There are scenes. Robert Trader. There are scenes in this, like Homelander talking to Maeve, for instance. Terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Because now we're at the place where I can't get over what happened to Elizabeth Shue at the end of the first season.
Or Supersonic.
I mean, now I think everybody's on the table. Anybody could go at any moment, and it's really terrifying. And Anthony Starr, if that guy doesn't get the Emmy nod this year, I mean, I don't think I've seen somebody relish a role as much as he does.
Yeah.
And just the simmering in his soul that we see. I mean, there is going to be Homelander violence unleashed in this season like we have never seen before. They even bring up the fact that he'll kill millions in this episode. And I'm like, I expect a big climax to this season.
Man, I'm getting tired of this, guys. Listening to you guys talk about the show, I really want to see it.
You need to watch it, Ray.
Ray, it's really easy. All you have to do is turn on a screen, and you just have to go to Amazon.
Or use Campea Plus.
You go use Campea Plus.
Yeah.
John is on.
Yeah.
John is on.
And, just go watch it there.
Yeah. Oh. It is a very compelling story. I know sometimes a little of the filthy isn't your jam for shows,
well,
but
it all depends, There's some filth that's welcome in my house.
There's a little column A, column B on this one. There's a lot of good stuff.
We did get a little filthy, Maeve and Butcher.
What? Spoilers.
Also, Chris,
that wasn't a spoiler for me.
Also, when you said nothing burger,
He got hungry.
I'm hungry.
I'm really hungry today.
Fat.
I'm so sorry. No, I'm starving. I'm really hungry too.
Like, there's nothing you could imagine. When you say nothing burger, what can you imagine? Oh, nothing.
I don't know. I can imagine quite a bit.
So many things. I got to say, too, on this episode, I mean, we are juggling like A, B, and C plots here, and it's done masterfully.
Yes, and they're all compelling. It's not like, this story.
Yeah.
No, I loved going from the, I won't say all the different play, like you said. I think that's the big strength of this season, is there's so many balls in the air they're juggling in terms of storylines and character.
Easy, Ray.
Stop it there, Ray.
I was just...
Anyway, and I really think they've done a masterful job scripting this season. And I'm sad there's only 3 more episodes left.
I know, but that also proves, though, I mean, everything could go to dog shit, right? I mean, this could just all pan out horribly. But so far, this doesn't feel like rushed storytelling. This feels like everything has nuance. Again, I'm talking about nuance on a show where we're seeing all kinds of bananas stuff. But the storytelling here is so well executed thus far. And I'm really hoping they stick the landing. I'm feeling confident they will.
The chat is asking about when the Hero-gasm episode is. Do we even know that?
No, but I think somebody was shipped off to the Hero-gasm Island or wherever the hell they go.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
I can only imagine what horrors await.
That is what it felt like.
Yeah, and it's going to be distasteful.
Yeah. Well, and guys, if you want us to talk in not so vague terms about this episode, definitely make sure that you tune in today at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for our Boys After Show, where we are going to get so diabolical and bring on all the filthy, talking about the ins and outs of this episode. And what
ins and outs,
for the rest.
Definitely so.
A lot of ins and outs. Yeah. If you caught the episode, be sure to let us know what you thought of it down in the comments below. And just as a courtesy to other folks, too, remember, guys, let's try to keep the chat pretty spoiler-free when it comes to these things. So even if you aren't watching this live, those comments on this video, let's keep this evergreen and pure and let's not spoil it. Okay? We'd appreciate that. Awesome. All right. With that down, let's move on to today's final topic. You guys all tweeted me this so much. I was getting texts from John. Everyone last night was letting me know about this story. We have a Game of Thrones sequel in the works. Now, this is all early days, guys, so I don't want us to get too excited here. But we now know that a Game of Thrones Jon Snow sequel is in the works for over at HBO. So what's really interesting here is we are going to have the continuation of the story. The show was not the definitive ending for these characters. We've got more story to tell, not only about Jon Snow, but potentially some of the other Stark kids as well. Rob, when you see this, what do you think? Yeah.
I mean, look, I was not satisfied with what happened to Jon Snow at the end of this series. I mean, I understand why it occurred, but I did not like the end of Dany and Jon's or Aegon. It's Aegon Targaryen. I
believe so.
So, spoiler alert. And I mean, I appreciated where he went off to. I mean, I liked that. That was sort of fitting. But again, I mean, my excitement for this show will be based on how good House of the Dragon is. And, you could do Game of Thrones spinoffs until you're blue in the face, or blue in the face Beyond the Wall in the North. You could do that, and look, I'll watch anything as long as it's good. Look, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. I come down on the side that season 7 and 8 were not as satisfying as they should have been. I really hated the direction season 8 went in.
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that they did the Night King dirty. I mean, he basically mattered not.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing about that, I didn't understand. And the flight time between like Dragonstone and Beyond the Wall was a little sketchy there. Like what? You can fly 1,000 miles. It took Robert Baratheon a month to go from King's Landing to Winterfell on horseback. So anyway, I won't get into that. But if this is good, it could be great.
Absolutely.
I mean, my initial response is, that's interesting. I don't know. I mean, if House of the Dragon is good, because then I could be like, okay, I'll watch. I love Jon Snow. I love that character. I love Kit Harington.
I think Kit Harington's great.
I have a great 6-scale figure of him.
Of course you do.
And it's not Hot Toys though, because it was a different company.
Okay.
So I hope it's good.
Same. I want to highlight this thing that the Hollywood Reporter pointed out. The development signals an intriguing new direction in HBO's handling of author George R.R. Martin's fantasy universe. A move not unlike Disney Plus' management of its Star Wars and Marvel brands, where the streamer has found success, that's debatable, launching career-focused sequel series such as WandaVision and Obi-Wan. So, with that, do you think that is something that HBO has gone, hey, what if we take these characters, some of the more popular ones from our kind of like crown jewel properties, and like these other streamers, focus on them and give them more of a story?
Well, what's interesting about that is, yes, I think they are. They're taking a page, and HBO, I think, had a resounding success, not creatively, I'm saying, with their Sex and the City sequel.
Oh, yes.
And Just Like That, which was one of the most, I was a huge Sex and the City fan, and Just Like That is one of the most awful TV shows I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was really, really bad. And but it led me to the Real Housewives podcast where they reviewed on YouTube those episodes.
Oh, nice.
And they hate and Just Like That more than I hate Star Trek Discovery.
Dang.
And it made it amusing to listen to. But still, the show was successful. And I think, look, rather than everybody wants known IP, they want to mine IP, I think this is a good way to go. And they'll do a limited series. If it works, they'll do another season. I mean, HBO will make sure that, and look, they're already making more Game of Thrones. So they've got, it's kind of like when they do a Star Wars show or movie, they can borrow sets and props and interchange them. And it's great. I mean, why not do more Game of Thrones shows? If they have great ideas and great creators working on them and the shows are good, why not make them? And I can understand that. You've got an IP. You've already got something that's wildly successful. Game of Thrones was a huge worldwide success.
Absolutely.
And who wouldn't want to see, where does Jon Snow go now? And maybe one day he'll go back to King's Landing, and the Unsullied, he'll be like, come on, guys, let me back into King's Landing. Yeah. Who knows? And you can bring back Sansa Stark. You can bring back Arya Stark. Where'd Arya go? We don't know. I mean, why not? Maybe she sails all the way around the world again.
Arya was the one who I figured would get the spinoff. That's all I thought in that finale was, oh, they're going to give her a spinoff.
Which also could be very interesting. I would watch that spinoff because where did she go?
But I think you're right too. It just all comes down to that execution. And again, we are in very, very early days. It's just in development. Should this move forward, Kit Harington is attached supposedly, but we have to see how all of this pans out ultimately.
Yep, and it could be maybe they'll decide to do a movie or a miniseries.
Yeah.
It won't go to like ongoing, but it'll be like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Hope it's better than Obi-Wan Kenobi, but it could be a 6-issue or 6-episode limited series. Yeah. We don't know.
I'd like that. What I'm really hoping for is it just means that we get the Game of Thrones scotches back, because I love those. They're real good.
And the beers.
They did have beers too.
They had Game of Thrones beers, and they came with, if you bought the holiday pack, you got the Game of Thrones glasses that go with the beers.
Oh, that's nice. That's how I got my manager, is we would go to these Game of Thrones parties, and we were drinking scotch together. And both realized we were from Houston, living in L.A.
When Game of Thrones was new, they would sponsor, there's the Wired Cafe used to be at Comic-Con, put on by Wired Magazine, and they did one of the first years of the Wired Cafe, free Jameson. And I would just go refill my flasks. Thank you, Wired Cafe, and thank you, Game of Thrones, because they had free Jameson that I drank all 4 days. It's fantastic.
Oh, Game of Thrones.
Actually, 3 days.
They know how to party until they don't.
It's true.
Well, guys, let us know what you are thinking about this. Are you excited about a Jon Snow sequel series? Are you feeling like we're kind of getting burnt out on Game of Thrones, given that ending? What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments down below. Now, if you think that you could be a better writer than those Season 8 folks over on Game of Thrones, maybe you should check out some writing classes over on MasterClass.
Guys, we want to take just a minute and thank the sponsor of this video, MasterClass. MasterClass is offering classes on a wide variety of topics, like all taught by world-class masters at the absolute tops of their field. Each class is broken down out into individual video lessons, usually like around 10 minutes or so long, and members can explore at their own pace. And each class is supported by downloadable materials, lessons, recipes, or more that you can all find at masterclass.com. For example, are you into streaming? Well, you can take the Building Your Streaming class taught by ninjas so you can sharpen up on your streaming skills. Or if you're interested in independent filmmaking, take independent filmmaking from Academy Award winner Spike Lee. You want to get classes on how to direct? How about from Ron Howard? The very first one I personally looked up and got into was Business Leadership by the great Big Papa Iger, Bob Iger himself. And I was absolutely enthralled with it. I love every single minute of this stuff. If any of those apply to you, you need to try MasterClass. So I highly recommend that you check it out. Get unlimited access to every MasterClass, and as a John Campea Show viewer, you get 15% off an annual membership. Go to masterclass.com/Campea. Once again, to get 15% off your annual membership, go to masterclass.com/Campea.
And thank you to the folks over at MasterClass. Well, guys, our super chats are open. We can see you guys popping in some things on here. Really, really appreciate you putting in all of your questions. We'll answer them as quickly as possible. Yes, Ray.
I got one member chat.
Yay.
Let me know if you're ready for those, or are you going to say something?
Let's do some member chat.
Okay, so Gregory B., who's been a member for 2 months, he says, "Greetings from St. John's, Canada.
Woo woo.
I enjoy hearing Chris swear on the show. May the viewers have more, please. Maybe guest star appearances from Chrissy Denizio."
Oh, my drunk alter ego? Well, probably not, since I'm working.
Can I just say that sounds like when John retires and he creates a town, he's going to call it St. John's, Canada.
That would be on brand.
Only full of good Canadian kids.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that you appreciate when I swear. That's fucking awesome.
Ray.
Wow, that was...
Did that get you off guard? What? Oh.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Well, let's keep going with these super chats then, guys. Rob, what do we have?
Well, first of all, Philly G sends in a super chat. Anime 38 sends in a super chat and says, "So, Rob, I watched Mad God as per you." That's Phil Tippett's stop motion animation film he's worked on for 30 years. And that is a crazy, gory stop motion movie. No dialogue, but I feel bad for those little fuzzy factory workers. Constant slaughter. Who hurt you, Rob? Well, I would say, listen, I have never been hurt in my whole life. I've only had the greatest things ever happen to me, except in my dating life. A lot of people hurt me, and it wasn't so great. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just looking. No, everything was great.
Bless the road that got you here, though. Yeah, Liz.
So, no, I think Mad God is incredible. I want to see it. I've missed turns to see it in the theater, but Phil Tippett, who did the stop motion animation for things like RoboCop, and He did do Jurassic Park using computer technology, but he's one of the great animators of all time. He spent 30 years making his own animated movie called Mad God that our viewer has watched. I recommend everybody watch it. It is crazy gory. It's not for the faint of heart, and it'll blow your mind. So I'm glad you watched it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. BJ sends in a super chat and says, I was watching TV recently, and Seth Rogen is looking happy and healthy nowadays. Good for him. He's lost a lot of weight. He looks good.
He is. He's making those beautiful bongs and stuff too. He's gotten into ceramics.
Yeah.
He's living his best life.
Living his best life. I mean, the guy who brought a Sausage Fest, The Boys, Preacher.
Oh, Preacher.
And he's like one of those people that has a functioning Hollywood marriage.
Yeah. They're
Good
super,
for Seth
super
Rogen.
Happy. He seems like such a sweet guy, and I love his laugh so much.
I know. He's very funny, and he probably has the dankest nugs.
He does probably have the dankest nugs.
That's the dankest of dank nugs. James Argenta says, over under 30%, Wanda will appear in the Wonder Man show. What do you think?
Ooh. I'd go over.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah. Because we know, first of all, no one's permadead.
Right.
Ever. And Wanda certainly is not.
Wanda's not dead.
What a waste.
And Wonder Man, there's interesting ties. You can have all the Avengers show up.
Absolutely.
Show. I mean, he's going to be a member of the Avengers, isn't he? Mm-hmm. I mean, we'll see. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Who's going to play Wonder Man? I don't know. We'll know soon. So I would say over 30% as well. Al Renshaw says, saw TMZ video of Tom Hanks defending his wife after she almost got knocked down. Another reason to love the guy.
Yeah, which, I mean, it was a completely reasonable reaction, too. People were trying to get to Tom Hanks so quickly that they shoved Rita Wilson. And so he turns around and says, back the fuck off, tripping my wife, and kind of pushes them off of hey, calm down.
Right.
I mean,
and if you elicit that kind of response from Tom Hanks, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Dad.
Yeah, man.
From the nicest man in Hollywood. That's why, they're all people, too. You don't need to rush them. Let them live their lives. Goodness gracious, y'all. Give Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson some breathing room.
Jermaine King says, was enjoying my Friday, and then I heard your Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 news. Now I have to find my crazy pills again. Well, that movie is truly bonkers.
Yeah.
On one hand, it's, you've got the emotional alienation of our main character, and then you've got the most insane crazy battles. I mean, there's stuff in that movie I've never seen before. I'm like, wow, it's got great stuff.
That makes me really extra excited about the release. Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Evan sends in a super chat and says, the show is so much better without John.
Oh.
Rock on, Chris, Rob, and Ray. Well, Evan, it's John's show. It's just different.
It's just a different thing.
If somebody, Jonathan, what did somebody say? It's like, what are we, we're Dad's gone?
No, I said that.
You said that.
I said, no, this is, John's format is great, and we all love John and what he does here, obviously. But when you're with us and, John's sick or he has to be out of town, it's like when Dad's gone for the weekend. It's it's a little looser, that's all. But
he
it's
left
still,
us $200 to get pizza, and we've just eaten Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, but it's still Dad's show.
And bought beer.
Yeah.
Actually, we didn't, but it would be fun if we did.
That would have been fun.
Big jugs of booze.
I mean, if I have to be, nice for a second, I mean, John does bring some knowledge that, some of us don't have. I mean, there's always aspects to everybody here that brings something to the table, and what John brings.
John's box office knowledge is bananas.
Yeah.
Consistency. You know what John brings? 300,000 subscribers to the table that he's got after almost 15 years of doing this.
That's very true. But I mean, we do appreciate you being sweet on us. That's really nice of you. But I think everyone who works on this, from John to Aaron to everyone here, we're a real good crew. We all have something special.
And John is, of course, the mad architect behind us being here in the first place.
He's our Nick Fury.
He's our Nick Fury. That's
just understand, we collectively don't need to snuff anybody else's candle to make our flames brighter.
Oh,
ooh, I like that.
That was a little rocky at the start, but you got it through, Jonathan. And it was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Daniel, dang. I like that. Dang, Daniel. Hey, Rob, could you see a God Emperor of Dune movie directed by Guillermo del Toro? Well, dude, first of all, now that you've brought this up, that's like the greatest thing I've ever heard.
That'd be rad.
Of the 6 Dune books, I mean, obviously the first Dune book, okay, first of all, let me clarify that. Mm-hmm. Of the 6 Dune books that Frank Herbert wrote, because he wrote Dune, he wrote Dune Messiah, Children of Dune, God Emperor of Dune is the 4th Dune book, Heretics of Dune, and Chapter House Dune. I think God Emperor of Dune is my favorite. It's a great book. And Guillermo del Toro directing that is a great idea. I mean, I would love to see Denis Villeneuve do 3 Dune movies where he'd tell Paul Atreides' story from beginning, middle to the end. And I'm not saying he wouldn't do a good job, but Guillermo del Toro doing God Emperor, that would be dope.
Hell yeah.
Dope. Jay Master says, hey, Chris.
Yeah.
On Wednesday, Marvel officially announced a comic book of the Star Wars Visions anime episode, The Duel, to continue the storyline, and it's coming out soon.
Did they? Ooh, I'm going to get that.
You just got to go across the street to this comic shop then and pay him a visit.
I love this. Oh my gosh, because The Duel is that wonderful episode that's got the, like Master of the Samurai Ronin situation and everything. I love that one.
And you really love Visions, didn't you?
I love Visions.
I did too.
And it does what Taika Waititi claims to be doing of exploring the rest of the universe, having other characters, having other people who are experiencing the galaxy and what the Empire and the Rebels are doing from a different perspective.
I mean, we've only really heard about the Force from the Jedi.
Yeah.
But what if there's like a Star Wars Pilates studio where they actually do fitness and using the Force?
What if you're a Jedi who just wants to be in a band, baby?
Right, which they did in and I didn't understand why people didn't love that. I love that
episode. John hated it, and I was like, "Where's your joy?"
But I mean, we've seen. I would do what is it? Filgren Dan and the Modal Nodes. I mean, I can never pronounce. I would watch a story about a Star Wars jazz band traveling the skyways, trying to make it in the universe.
That's true. I mean, I do already want like a Max Rebo documentary.
Why not?
I would love that if it was like Spinal Tap.
I mean, I would. They always have to keep replacing their lead singer.
Yeah.
Cy Snoodles is out.
Mm-hmm. Be perfect.
I'd watch that.
Oh, thanks for that up though. Loved it.
Brian Sainer says, so I have a serious question for this show. I have a serious question. What is your favorite and or best time travel series? Me personally, I love the Netflix German series Dark. By the way, Dark is excellent.
Ooh.
The way they connected everything was so perfect. I love the show. I would say Dark might very well be the greatest time travel series.
I need to watch
time.
that. I mean, Brian, I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. My wedding was Doctor Who themed. But right now, Time Traveler's Wife is really creeping up there for me because it's handling time travel in such a wonderful, beautiful way. Yeah,
I mean, I would have to say I'm going to agree with him about Dark because Dark was one of those shows when I started watching it and I was unprepared for how great it really is. And I really am looking forward to the creator's new show, like 1899 or something.
Ooh, okay.
That's coming out. But yeah, I mean, I think back to time travel shows. Obviously, there's Quantum Leap, which everyone likes. Irwin Allen did the Time Tunnel, which I really liked as a kid. Time Traveler's Wife. But I think Dark is probably, in terms of most prestigious, the best. It's probably the best.
Okay.
Although it's very Byzantine and requires an attention span. You have to really concentrate, I think, to get it all. But it's good.
Okay. I'll have to check it out, but I'll have to make myself sit down.
It's really good. King Tannic says, Rob, an anime is starting next month. No, I don't. Butcher-gear, is that what it says? Butcher-gear, Japan is ruled by the samurai. The police force is killed by invading terrorists. 7 criminals are chosen to take their place to protect Japan. Bruh.
Dude,
that sounds great to me. I will totally watch that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I didn't know what that, but what is it called? How'd you pronounce it?
Can you bring it back up, Jonathan?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Was it Butcher-gear?
Butcher-gear. Yeah, Butcher. I guess
my Japanese is not strong, y'all. This was a big problem for me.
I'm in. King Tannic, count me in. Where's it airing? Where can I see this?
Yeah. Give us those deets.
Yeah. Wow. Jay Master says, hey, Rob, I have some great news from Seattle. Yesterday, FIFA officially announced the great Emerald City of Seattle will be the host of the FIFA World Cup in 2026. Well, that's really exciting. I mean, what a great place to have the World Cup. I mean, they'll probably have it in one of there's 2 great stadiums right next to each other.
Are you a football fan?
I mean, I don't know much about it. I do like watching the World Cup, though.
Okay.
I mean, when the World Cup's on, I'll spend like a month watching as many games as possible. Mm-hmm. But I'm one of those casual American fans.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to sit there and when they talk about like Tottenham Hotspur or something,
Yeah.
I don't know much about it.
I've made it very clear on the show that I do not understand sports. I'm usually just there for having snacks.
I really do like watching. It's football. It's not soccer.
Yeah.
It's so weird that I don't even know why do we call it soccer. I mean, I know we have American football, so we can't call it football. But
it is odd though.
Isn't it?
Man.
Where'd soccer come from?
It seems very pretentious of us. I'm not going to lie. Like, we're going to call it soccer so we're Americans.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know. If anyone knows the etymology of that, hit us
Actually,
up.
soccer originated in Britain.
Did it?
Just, yeah.
The term soccer?
It just seems like the rest, there's like, I feel like that there's soccer everywhere else in the world. I mean, there's football everywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, internationally, it's such a big deal. And that we're like these outliers because we have American football. I don't know. It's weird.
Says it was originally used to differentiate association football from its rugby cousins.
Oh, okay. You learn
That's
something new every
interesting. There you go. All right.
day. Nice. What else we got?
We don't have rugby cousins, so why are we calling it soccer? I don't know. James Shimo says when Disney finally puts out Socks the Cat stuffed animals, they will make all the money.
Yeah, James, you are correct. They will not make some of the money. They will make all of the money.
I want a robotic socks that will solve all my problems.
Oh my gosh, that's all I want.
I mean, wouldn't that be great?
That'd be great. Could you imagine my shitty little dog, though, dealing with a robot cat? He's already pooping on Roombas.
Yeah, but can you imagine what kind of Instagram following you could get for something like that?
Man.
Your Insta game would just
It would skyrocket.
make those reels.
Man. Whenever you tag me in something, I get so many more followers. I'm just going to ride your coattails.
I'll keep doing that.
Sweet. I appreciate it.
I'll just keep tagging people because, as the Robiner of everything that's good, Andy says, "Hi, Rob. I think you should buy. Hi, Rob. I still think you should try ASMR once. I still haven't forgotten how you gave me an eargasm when you threatened me in person. Laugh out loud."
Wow.
I think that's when I said I explained what you should say to people in movie theaters if they're talking.
Oh, yeah.
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 Then you use your
I love this
ASMR
kink for
voice.
Andy.
Do you like that?
I just
Well,
want you to threaten me in your soothing, soothing voice.
I will threaten you, Andy, if that's what you want
man.
me to do. That would be my
Anything for our viewers.
ASMR. Yeah, I'll do that.
Sorry to just ruin the juxtaposition of that, too. Rob's soothing voice while I'm like, hey, I'm a manic depressive piccolo. How you doing?
Okay, that is a band name if ever I heard one.
Oh,
Manic
man,
Depressive
right?
Piccolo.
Oh, we would play the Viper Room all the time.
We'll put that out on Rough Trade Records. It'll be great. Love it. Andy sent in a super chat. Thank you, Andy. Reese Jones said, I just saw Lightyear. I was the only one in my screen, likely down to the showtime. I found it to be a heartwarming self-discovery origin story. To all of the negative reviews, I say, quote, to all of the negative reviews, I say to quote Chris, for why?
For why? For why? I mean, I still have to see the rest of this movie. Ray's giving it a ring endorsement.
There's nothing wrong with it. I don't know it's a Pixar movie.
I think people are having a problem separating Lightyear from Toy Story, the Toy Story franchise.
Yeah.
I think that they're looking for what they're doing is totally different things.
Ray, do you think people, and I ask this very seriously, are watching this movie from their butt?
The thing is, I think it's sad to say, but anytime anything makes anybody happy, there's going to be a couple people that try to find something that's not happy about it.
Yeah.
And they will reach from this dot to this dot to connect them. Yeah. To actually make that point. And I just say, if you like it, that's all that matters. Mm-hmm. Who cares what the numbers say, reviews? If you like it, that's the most important thing in the world. I mean, go with it. I mean, as long as it's not murder that you like, then just, you're all right. You're doing all right, is what I'm saying.
Unless you come to me, because I'm going to judge now that I'm the final robber of what's good and bad. I'm going to tell you whether you should like something or not.
Yeah, no. Actually,
I'm the gatekeeper and the keymaster.
A really hard stance today though. Ray Ora does not like murder. Rob Ora. Oh no, I shipped you guys.
Oh no.
We're shipped. I'm your husband, buddy.
Yeah, you're married now. It's legal.
I'm married to Ray.
I did it.
So Rob asked me to create a website. So if you like anything, you have to send him the reasons why you like it.
And I'll decide whether or not.
And he'll either pass it or reject it, right?
Well, also for $275, you get a membership kit with an 8x10 of me, a membership card, and I will tell you I'll give you an approved reading list of everything you need to know.
And the key to the gate.
Yeah, and you get a key to the gate.
Oh, that's nice. What's your 8x10 pose?
Well, it depends. I tailor it for different kinds of people.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Spicy.
But it's true, and I am building a gate, an honorary gate, and it's wait till you see what's inside.
No.
And if you get the key to that gate, I guarantee you're going to be happy that I have approved you.
Wow. Oh, vague and enticing. Ooh, exclusivity.
The problem is Ray said they have to send in what they like and why they like it.
Yeah.
And 99% of your submissions are just going to be what they like. They're not going to take the time to say why. Or it's just going to be like, who makes you the judge? The Rob Shim, the judge.
Well, somebody needed to do so, and I am the one that's stepping up.
Thank you, Rob.
Anyone
of
could have
people.
stepped into this position. I've decided it's going to be me.
I've always said, you know what fandom is missing? More gatekeeping.
No. People haven't gatekeep correctly.
Oh.
I'm going to show people how it's
Changing the
really
game.
done. I am changing the
Or
game.
changing the gate.
These
He's
amateur
crushing the wheel.
gatekeepers, no. They need somebody that really knows their stuff and really will put their foot down.
You might need to make a new Twitter account.
He's
Just
basically
to let everyone know that
Oh,
you're
that's a great idea.
Rob the gate.
Yeah, he's crushing the wheel is what he's
Yeah.
doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't get blocked on that one.
Oh, somebody will get upset. I mean, somebody will get upset that I've just stepped up and taken on the role,
fair.
the mantle. Hopefully, what I want to do is inspire all the gatekeepers.
Oh, no.
Sam Fisher, one of two, says, Chris, there are a couple of Hades and Persephone webtoons. There is a Punderworld and then Lore Olympus.
That was the one I was talking about.
Literally the most popular comic on the site. Now, that was
Yeah.
one of two. Does Sam have more
What's
to
the
say?
rest of Sam?
Eh,
Sam
Oh, here we go.
There it is. Highly recommended you read or catch up on Lore Olympus. It's gotten really good since coming back with chapter 191. Its mid-season premiere.
Yeah, I am so behind on this webtoon, but it is really, really great. It's lovely, lovely retelling of Persephone and Hades' story. I love it a lot. My friend Megan does really beautiful fan art of it too. You should follow her, Sketch It Snips. Really
Well,
good
you know
stuff.
what? I don't know if it's really beautiful or not. I haven't seen it, but I will be the final judge on whether
You
it's
don't
beautiful
like it,
or not.
Rob. I respect you, but I will murder you, and then Ray will hate me. So
Half of
don't
Twitter
you
wants
do
to
this.
murder me today after I've declared my intentions.
What else we got?
Al Renshaw says, China says they've potentially contacted aliens. Now, this is a true story. Our planet is done and we are screwed. Rob, how would you greet them? Well, that's a good question. First of all, apparently there was somebody in China was reporting that they had discovered evidence that aliens existed, and then the story was abruptly pulled. But it was already out there.
The truth is out there.
It is already out there. And of course, how would I greet aliens? Well, first of all, I would explain to them that I'm the final arbiter of what's good or bad, and I would ask them about the franchises on their planet.
Mm-hmm.
What is their equivalent of Star Wars or Star Trek or Doctor Who?
Oh.
And are there a bunch of people that complain about them because they're aging franchises and the current stewards of the franchises aren't doing as good a job as we think? I would ask them that question
And then they
first.
just blast him with a phaser and he turned to
Wow.
dust.
Yeah, we would get murdered so quickly if you were our ambassador.
Is that true? You never know.
Word.
What if one of them said, oh my God, you would not believe it. We just saw a 6-episode miniseries of this famous character that everybody loved.
Mm-hmm.
And all they're doing is bitching and moaning about it on our social media. Your planet is just like ours. I'm glad you brought it up, Rob.
I feel like I'd
I'd
lead in
welcome
with
them
like,
to Planet Houston.
Yeah, Planet Houston.
I would just want to do like I don't want to be racist, but is the probing thing real? Is that an issue that we need to be concerned about, guys?
I'm not even getting into that.
Yeah.
I would ask to try it.
I mean, hey.
No, I mean, how would
their
you,
own.
that's actually really, look, there are groups. I mean, how would you greet alien life? If aliens came to Earth, that means technically they would be far more advanced than we are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that first meeting is going to be something like, we don't even know if they would even know that we are the stewards of this planet. They might be so far in advance of us. Like when you walk past an anthill, do you even know it's there? Even though there's a teeming ant civilization right next to you? Do you pay attention?
Dang.
That's deep, bro.
All right, I got a member chat
Yeah.
from Luis Enrique de la Peña.
De la
He says,
Peña.
Rob, if you like mole, try putting some shredded chicken with mole on top of a tostada and pickled onions with sliced habanero peppers if you like it spicy. I have no idea, but I'm getting hungry now.
so
Can you please
hungry.
stop?
I'm
sending me
really
things?
hungry. I mean, I love mole on chicken enchiladas, so yes.
Are you a spice guy?
I'm a
Spicy?
spice guy, dude.
Yeah.
Man, I'm
You know what?
starting to
One day
talk
I'm going to order the hot ones. I'm going to do the gamut.
I gotta bring
Oh.
them. I've got most of them.
Do you have
I need the new season, but I've got the last dab and everything.
I want to try
That's
the
Dawson.
last dab on the bomb.
Yeah, I still haven't tried the bomb.
The bomb is, it's just really hot, but it doesn't taste good.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Oh,
you
it
could do
doesn't?
the last dab.
Yeah.
It's not terrible, and it tastes good. Rob, you can handle the last
Yeah,
dab.
the last
for
dab's
All right.
nice.
I love spicy.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
What else we got?
Orange Hand says, would you agree that the next time we see Oscar Isaac in the MCU, he won't need to say a word and we would know instantly that's Mark, Steven, or Jake? Probably. I think
Yeah,
so. I think
absolutely.
absolutely. That's because he's that good of an actor.
100%. They
Yeah.
all have different stances and everything, too. There's different body language. And body language is mostly how we communicate anyway.
There you go. South Texas Shark says, Ray, buy Tim Tams and stash them at John's house.
What's a Tim Tam?
I
Is
am
that a
looking
snack?
that up right now.
Oh,
Tim
so
Tams.
Tams they're like a cookie.
Yeah, they like
Oh.
marshmallow cookies?
nice. Okay.
Okay.
Tim Tams.
Tim Tam.
It's Australian, and Isabella's losing
Yep.
her mind. She's like, "You guys don't know. I'm the gatekeeper of Tim Tams." All right.
Can I have a Tim Tam?
We'll get you some, Ray.
Suthius says, of the new upcoming shows, my most anticipated is Westworld Season 4, of which the new trailer just dropped. I was late to the series, but ended up loving it. Tandy Newton, all day, every day, please. Yeah, she is mighty fine in that show.
I haven't watched a single episode.
I liked the first season, but it was a little pretentious.
Yeah?
But I liked it. It's well done. I have to say the trailers for the teaser now, this new trailer for Season 4 looks really interesting. My interest is piqued. And I've watched everything up to now.
Nice.
So it's been interesting. I still think the first season was the best, even though it was kind of,
I am worried about sci-fi that you say is pretentious.
well, you should, I am the,
Yeah, yeah.
you know. So, no, but it's good. For the season 1 is worth watching.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Is that Toshi Victor says, H-Town is getting the World Cup in 2026.
Houston, that's where I'm from.
Wait a minute. Didn't we just say that, the FIFA, the
Yeah.
World Cup, isn't that in 2026 in Seattle?
I thought that's this year coming up, or I don't know. I
No.
can't keep up with it.
H-Town is Houston.
Yeah.
You know, the second episode for All Mankind dropped.
Speaking
Did you
of
watch it
Houston-
yet?
Oh no!
Big doings, man.
I might. Oh, remember how I said, I'm gonna go play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles after. I might need to watch this episode first.
Big doings.
I'll watch it. I forgot it came out last night. Was it good? Did you
I
like
liked it. Setting the table.
Okay. Oh, setting the. Okay, I could skip it then. Is what you're saying?
No,
and wait for the next one.
No, you can't skip it.
Oh,
You
okay.
can't skip it at all.
I'll take your word.
Big doings.
Big doings.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. What else we got?
Ben Rayner says, hi, guys. Great week. Chris,
Aw.
what are your thoughts on Yu-Gi-Oh! The show? I love the first 5 seasons. What about you? Bring on the filthy.
What about you, Gio?
Yu-Gi-Oh didn't really do it for me. My brother played the card game, and I watched a couple episodes, and it just wasn't really my jam. But a lot of people seem to love it, so yay, Yu-Gi-Oh! If that's for you, thumbs up.
Yeah, and as long as they still have merchandise on the shelves, then it's
Yeah.
a hit somewhere, and I still see it on the shelf.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sam Fisher says, Rob, I love Hell on Wheels. That's what it was. It's where Anson Mount got his big break. It's true. As the lead, Cullen Bohannon, along with Colomini, Dominic McGilliot, and Common. Yes, Common. You know what? I only watched a few episodes of that show, and I liked it in the first season. I thought it was good. It was beautifully shot. It's a great looking show. But yeah, I like what I saw. But people keep telling me how good it is. I only watched like the first 2 episodes. I don't know why. I just never caught back up with it.
There's so much stuff on TV.
I know.
There's so much happening right
I
now.
have a question. Has anyone had train food before? Is it just like airplane food?
No, it's
No.
actually
No,
quite
it depends
good.
because you can get some pretty good food on a train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'll do the train from here to San Diego a lot of times, or to Santa Barbara, and it's like great sandwiches and a full bar, and
okay.
it's nice. Yeah.
I'm sorry, just
You can also bring
Hungry.
snacks, right? So you can bring your own little picnic basket.
okay.
Yes, you can. Sub McShave says, I could see a Star Wars heist movie in the style of Heat, The Italian Job, Ronin, or Ocean's 11. I would love that.
That'd be great.
A crime thriller.
I would watch it.
Rafifi. There's another good one.
Ooh.
Rafifi? No?
No one's for that one?
Jermaine King sends in a super chat and says, P.S. The end credit song to Evangelion Sakura Nagashi is the most beautiful and most depressing song ever created. I will have to go watch that again.
Yeah, because Rob will have to let us know definitively. Is that the most beautiful?
I mean, you know what? Until my arbitration comes down on that.
Arbitration.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to know. Gregory B says, hello again. My wife and I finished Barry season 3. We found it both crazy and really good. What are your thoughts, Campea crew?
Oh, I watched it last night.
Oh, you did?
Gosh, I friggin' love this show. It's so well done. Bill Hader's directing, too, has been magnificent.
He directed that chase sequence on the bike.
He's directed most of this season. It's been really, really great, really compelling stuff. And we don't know what's happening with Barry or how to feel about him, frankly.
I'm sorry. I just imagine Rob and then us putting a gate right behind him now, like a set piece of a gate and like a fog machine. And I was like,
oh, well, you know what? We should actually shoot like a TV opening to the show where we all have our little entrances, and I'll just unlock the gate. And,
it'll be our 90s sitcom thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of you locking the gate and waving.
Yes.
Shaking your fist.
Or we'll do that for You and I Have Issues.
Oh,
Rob and Chris have issues. Our
what
show.
would mine be?
I know, it's up to you.
I don't know.
I'm
just fucking delightful. I don't know how I would do my intro.
Well,
just me being like, "Hi." I like
you got to think about
dinosaurs.
it. No, you got to do some shtick.
All right, I got to figure it out.
You know what? Or and the end would be, I open the gate and let you in.
Oh, I get to go in.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's the last shot. You come in my gate, we close, and we wave from behind our gate.
That's sweet.
And the gate will say, "Keep out on it." Luis Enrique de la Peña.
oh, there he's back.
There he is. Komi-san Can't Communicate is an anime about an elite and aloof schoolgirl who's anxious about communicating with others. An ordinary boy befriends her and helps her to open up and make 100 friends.
Oh, that's sweet.
I would watch that. That sounds like what's going to happen when I start really gatekeeping.
Yeah.
I'm going to make 100 friends.
Megan just gave me a great intro for me. I can have a magical girl transformation like Sailor Moon.
Oh, now that would be good.
That would be so cute.
And I won't let you in the gate until you have the transformation, and then you get to come in the gate.
I'm going to stay outside the gate. I'm going to lean on it.
No. You have to change. Sam Fisher says, another reason I think Marilyn is possessing Norma Jean is because at the end of the trailer, the Marilyn in the mirror moves, but the real person, I guess, does not. That's very interesting.
I didn't catch that.
Oh, I didn't either.
That's such a creepy teaser.
It is.
I loved it.
It is.
It is creepy. Jay Master sent. Wait a minute.
Look at that.
Is this real?
Yeah, it's real.
Jay Master sends us a $200 super chat.
Damn, Jay.
Jay, you can come in my gate. You don't even have to transform into anybody.
Sounds so wrong.
I think he owns the gate now.
Oh, no. It costs more than $200. Yeah. Come on, man. But Jay,
that statement, we will give you 10 seconds.
that is very generous. Thank you for supporting the
thank you,
channel
Jay.
in that way. That's very nice of you. But Jay does have something to say. He says, The Hollywood Reporter exclusively broke news that Marvel is developing a Wonder Man series for Disney Plus with writer-producer Andrew Guest from Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Shang-Chi director Daniel Destin Creighton on directing one or more episodes, part of his overall deal with Marvel. I didn't realize that. That's fascinating.
That is great. I loved Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I thought that show was so funny and so smart. So having that really strong comedic sensibility here is very interesting to me.
Look, I really liked Shang-Chi, and, hearing his directing style coupled with that writing, that's intriguing. That could be a great show. I mean, the depending on how they're going to portray Wonder Man, you know what? It's a creative team that excites me about franchise properties. That's a great creative team.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, just for anyone who's not particularly familiar with Wonder Man 2, can you give them a little quick rundown?
Oh my God, no.
No?
Because there's, the thing is, the thing is, there's, I'm just not up on my Wonder Man lore because there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like if you asked me to talk about Carol Danvers. Carol Danvers has so much lore.
Yeah.
That to go back, like she wasn't Captain Marvel, she was Miss Marvel. And like Carol Danvers was there when Rogue was introduced. The first appearance of Rogue was in Avengers Annual 10. So I would have to go back and actually give myself a Wonder Man primer.
Yeah.
Before I answer that question.
There's, I mean, super strength, flight, agility, like Wonder Woman-esque powers.
Yes.
Referred to as Mr. Muscles sometimes too.
But I don't off the top of my head know Wonder Man's origin. And I'm admitting what I don't know.
Yeah.
There'll be an MCU version. Like
Yeah.
if there's a lot of different revisions of him in comic book things, they usually just create their own MCU.
Yeah, I'm
version,
curious.
right?
I'm curious as to what
He will be the most powerful when he comes out, and then the next person will be the most powerful.
Yeah.
well, are you going to get your Sentry one day?
You know what, Rob? Before I went to bed last night, I went on YouTube. I started looking up all this Sentry stuff. This guy is ridiculous. Like stuff I didn't know yet. So
I need to do that with Wonder. Now I'm going to do that with Wonder Man.
I'm excited to fall down that rabbit hole.
I know.
Learn some more.
I need to learn more.
Yay. Thanks for that info, Jay. We really appreciate it. And again, thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate you.
P-Dot says, I hope you guys watch the Brahmastra trailer and throw some first reactions to it. It is a Bollywood fantasy film based on Indian mythology. Now, that is different from the other...
No, it's the one that we were talking about.
Is that the one we were talking about yesterday?
Yeah, with Shiva Part 1.
Yeah.
I watched it and I thought it looked really, really cool. I don't think we're going to do a reaction video to that because we don't do a lot of the programming on this channel.
Right.
It is the John Campea channel still.
That's true.
Maybe we will at some point. I thought it looked really, really interesting, though. I was so glad people turned me on Twitter.
What's really interesting is a lot of the effects films or the effects that are being done in American movies now, a lot of them are being done in India and Pakistan.
Yeah.
And the effects, if you watch movies like Robot and things like that, there's some amazing effects work to be seen in Indian. Their verisimilitude they got to work on. But there's amazing effects being done in India.
I was going to say, they looked killer in this. So if you guys haven't checked out that trailer, definitely do it.
Yeah, definitely check it out. But I'd see the movie. I'd go see the movie in the theater.
Absolutely.
Al Renshaw says, with Hemsworth saying Thor 4 could be his last Marvel movie, could this mean his character dies? They could introduce Beta Ray Bill to replace him. I don't know, because I thought he signed a long-term contract. I mean, I could see him. He's tired of, judging by what he looks like in the film, talk about beefcake.
Yeah.
I mean, seldom has a man looked better than he does in that film, but that can't be easy.
I mean, he is a fitness guy, though. He has the Center app. That's part of his whole brand, too, is physical fitness. If you guys haven't checked out the Center app, it's amazing. I obviously don't use it every day. I like to just use their recipes more than anything. But I feel like he's having so much fun as this character. I don't know if he's going to peace out after this one. Introducing Beta Ray Bill would be great.
It'd be great.
I'd love that.
And also, you could see where he's coming from. He started this journey with the other Avengers, and they all seem to move on. Like maybe he feels that as long as you go out with a bang, like as long as you put it all in, on this movie, if it is your last, then we'll appreciate it.
Well, if you think about the time you have on this planet, let's say you're going to live to be 80. Reasonable assumption, right? So that's only 8 decades you have on this planet. 8.
Yeah.
The first 2 decades that you have are kind of a wash, So you've got 6 decades left. He spent a decade and a half playing this character.
Yeah.
I can assume, I'm sure he's got more money than God put away. He's got his family taken care of. At some point, you just want to stop. Imagine how he has to work hard and how much he has to eat, or what he has to eat to look the way he does for a long period of time. I mean, strikes me, he's an Aussie. He likes to drink and eat.
Yeah.
And he can't do that. I can imagine it gets to a point where you're tired.
That's true.
And until someone else in the future owns the Thor role, he'll always be Thor to me. So so that you got that. I mean,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, but I mean, canonically too, Beta Ray Bill just makes sense. So I could see that happening eventually. Our audience is ready for Beta Ray Bill.
So am I. I'd love to see Beta Ray Bill. I'd get into that. Jeffrey Schaefer says, Rob, did you catch the first Macross Frontier movie on the big screen last night via Fathom Events? I did not. And I'm a big Macross Frontier fan. I like the designs, I think, but I didn't see that. I didn't go to the theater. I did not. But I did see an ad for it. I was wondering, that makes sense to me because I'm like, why am I seeing Macross Frontier ads? But I will say Bandai's Fighters, the 1/72nd scale, pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Pretty sweet.
Sam Fisher says, what upsets me the most about Tim Sale dying is all of the color series we will never see. I would have loved an Iron Man Gold, a Hawkeye Purple, an Ant-Man Red, or a Namor Green, retelling these characters' early days. It is too bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's sad. I mean, as I said, he did a cover for my own company, and he was such a great, talented artist.
He was incredible.
Incredible.
And I loved how so many people got introduced to him who weren't diehard comic fans through the show's heroes and things like that too. I mean, his art is just so beautiful, and you recognize his work immediately. There's just such a Tim Sale quality to what he does, and it's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. But
check it out if you haven't, you guys. Check out all of his work and all those different color series because they're really wonderful.
They really are. They really are. Living with Dameron. Living with Dameron sends in a super chat. Whoa, mama! Don't worry. We'll teach him how to cheer. The XFL cheerleaders.
One of my friends texted me the link to your commercial during the show. And I was like, am I going to be horrified by this? And they were like, yeah, have fun.
Well, thank you all for looking up my XFL cheerleader commercials. Yay! By the way, don't worry. We'll teach them how to cheer. I mean, that's a good line.
I'm so excited to see the context around
Don't worry. We'll teach them how to cheer. Yeah. Cincinnati's 5-star Barbara comes in with a 1999 super chat.
Oh, thank you, Cincinnati.
Thank you, Cincinnati. Hey, fam. Been waiting 2 years, and my Hot Toys Snowspeeder Luke finally came yesterday. So dope. Rob, when people ask me how I can spend so much money on my figures, money don't matter tonight. Sure didn't matter yesterday. That's a little Prince for you. And that is a great, great, great Prince song.
What about the figure he got?
Yeah.
Is that
that you know what? I don't have my Luke Snowspeeder figure yet, but it is. I've ordered it, but I haven't got it yet. It is great. I think it's a great figure. You know what I have ordered though? The Jazz Inc. 1/6 scale Snowspeeder.
Ooh.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but
nice.
I know. It's going to be big.
Very cool, Cincinnati. Thank you for letting us know which kind of hot toy you got to. We always appreciate the specificity.
Yeah.
He had a
It's good hot
6-inch
toy.
figure or 6-scale figure.
Yeah.
We won't say what.
I know, it's true. Sam Fisher said, so we aren't talking about the Disney Plus Wonder Man series? Well, we have been.
We've mentioned it,
Yeah,
but I mean,
we're wondering.
it's most of the news has been, hey, they're developing a Wonder Man series.
Yeah, we don't know yet. I mean, I think we talk about it more once we find out who's cast as Wonder Man.
Yeah.
I would have thought, but I would have thought that Wonder Man would have been introduced in an Avengers movie.
I mean, who's to say he's not going to?
It's true. I mean, they introduced Moon Knight for the first time in a series. We'll probably see more of that.
Yeah.
So, I could see that. I'm curious. Elizabeth Gerardo said, A-Train is the worst. Yeah, there was that other hero on the show. Yeah, boy.
We're going to get into it, Elizabeth.
That scene was painful to watch.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeesh.
And about some of the other scenes at the top of the show that really bother me. That one is one where I was like, I gasped and I couldn't watch everything. And it's not the most violent thing we've seen on the show, but it is one of the most realistic.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And we'll get into that today for our after show, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tune in.
Seconds from Disaster 1 and 2. Hey, everyone. Just want to say I hope everyone has a great weekend. My son Derek will be born on Monday. So if the timing lines up, maybe, just maybe, the first word he will hear will be John saying, Chris, what is our first main topic? Just playing. My girl would kill me if I did that.
Oh,
Can you imagine, though, if someone's playing our show, even the idea that if as a child is being born, the first thing they hear is you answering that question?
They hear us going into topics or some stupid thing that we say, like raw dog and Pop-Tarts.
Oh, yeah. Maybe you should wait.
Just be present with your partner. You don't need to listen to us. And if you are, maybe just have it be an ear pod and keep your phone tucked away. Be present for the person.
Have your finger on the power button.
Yeah.
Push, honey, push. Chris, what is our first main topic?
Congratulations, though. That's very exciting. We're very excited to have Derek in the world.
We are. That's good.
Yeah.
Terrace. Tom Bombadil says, thanks for this week, team. We love you.
We love you, Tom Bombadil. You're great.
Because he never got his movie.
I know.
Oh, well. Joel Rolston says, hey, guys, if studios are in debt because of streaming, why don't they sell IP, syndicate shows, and return to physical copies? I understand competition, but this IP race is expensive. It is, but you know what they don't have to do? I mean, the reason they want to get rid of physical media is it's an expense they don't need.
That's expensive.
You know, and they want people to, the thing about the reason that they want to move over to streaming is because it's a sure thing in terms of the Hollywood studios. Everything has always been a crapshoot. Is this movie going to make any money? Mm-hmm. Is this TV show going to work? And now with streaming, they know exactly how much money they're going to make every month from their subscribers. And they've never had that before.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to the studios, because that economic model of knowing we're going to get this many dollars every month from our subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why streaming is so important. And that's why Hollywood is betting on it so heavily.
For sure.
Bama Ham Yum says, the world needs a Chris Carr solo episode of Mailbag, but do we deserve it? And are we ready for it?
Oh, you maybe are ready for it. Probably. Am I ready for it?
I would love to watch a Chris Carr solo episode of Mailbag.
That's nice.
All the voices that would just come out of your mouth.
That's
great.
true. That's true.
Wait until we get a 26-pager.
Yeah, there you go. And those are, I mean, I've done mailbags that are like 67 pages long.
Yeah.
Hours long. I'm awesome. 418 says, Lightyear was amazing with lots of action. Now I have a buzz for Elvis. Come on, guys, laugh. Now I have a buzz for Elvis. There you go.
Imagine being a stand-up comedian and having to tell your audience, come on, guys, laugh.
Yeah.
That's what I did all the time.
Maybe I killed this joke by reading it not well. But hey.
It was the delivery.
And
it was my delivery. There you go.
Wow. And you're the gatekeeper?
It doesn't mean I'm good at comedy. Come on. Joel, even though I am. Joel says, thank you all for keeping the show going while John is sick. You guys are amazing, and I love the show. Well, thank you, Joel.
Thanks,
That's very nice.
That's sweet.
It's true. The real question is, will John be happy that we've kept the show going?
Yeah, that's very true.
Josie Reviews sends in a super chat and says, what do you call stormtroopers in jousting tournaments? Game of Clones.
You know, Josie, I usually like your jokes.
That's not bad.
I'll give it to you. It's Friday.
Yeah.
Game of Clones.
And
I get it.
It is Father's Day weekend, too.
It
Make
is.
sure you send your cards, guys. Call your dad.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Hey, Chris and Rob. Chris, I love seeing a woman in power.
Oh.
Just wanted to say I love the show.
Do I have power?
I think you have the power.
Infinite power.
Yeah.
The power, Mr. Gatekeeper?
Oh, no. I women take their own power. Women have their own power. I don't, as a gatekeeper, women have their own power. I have no ability.
Okay. Yeah.
They have powers that I'll
Makes
never
sense.
have. You know?
That's true.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm glad you like the vibe on the show, and I like that you appreciate me in this chair, I guess. Thanks. That's cool.
Yeah, it's true. Tacky75 says, oh, wait, I think I can't see the bottom one. There we go. Blatino Boy
We just
says,
read that.
oh, did I read that?
That was in power.
Did I say
You read it
Blatino
again.
Boy?
Chris likes to hear it.
Yeah.
Okay. Blatino Boy,
Yay!
once again. Hey, Chris and Rob.
Give it to me.
Chris, I love seeing a woman in power.
Mm-hmm. Oh, compliments are my yellow sun. Yes.
But that means you don't have Kryptonian powers anymore.
Yellow sun?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you get your
You
powers
need a red
from.
sun. Oh, yes,
get
you
it
do have
from
a yellow sun.
Oh my
What am
gosh,
I saying?
big geek boy. Read
I
a
know.
book.
You're right. I got
Do you even read?
Yellow Sun.
Do you even read?
I know. I'm discombobulated. What can I say?
That's okay.
Tacky75 says, you know what I was thinking when you said Yellow Sun? I was thinking
Bizarro World?
I was thinking Red Sun.
No,
Red Sun
Red Sun,
miniseries.
yeah.
I'm
That's
sorry,
fair.
Tacky.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Tacky75 says, I watched the first two Transformers movies. They're so bad, they make Morbius look like Citizen Kane. Wait a minute.
What?
The first Transformers is pretty good.
The first Transformers
Yeah, the first
is fun.
one's great. It's
Pretty
after
good.
that.
Yeah, then it is all downhill, but
Oh, no. Transformers 3 rules.
Morbius is Citizen Kane. I mean, I don't think even The Room can do that.
Man, just watch Bumblebee.
And Bumblebee's good.
real
Fine
cute.
Transformers
I like that
movie.
one.
I like Bumblebee a lot.
Yeah. But hey, that's your opinion, and good for you.
Good. Razel Prime says, "Hi crew, Rob, the fourth Ava movie launched on Amazon, but never saw disc or theatrically in the States, and never on Netflix." That's what I said. I didn't say it was on Amazon. That's when I saw it was on Amazon when it first launched. But you're right, because I have the other three, the slipcased, and that I don't know why it took so long to get those movies out here in the States. Hopefully we'll be able to get a disc. Luis Enrique de la Pena sends in a super chat. Oh, I guess this is the end.
Yeah, just
Fangblaze71 sends in a super chat, and King Tannic sends in a super chat.
Oh, yay! Thanks, guys. We appreciate all that support. Do we have anything else for members, Ray? Or are we all wrapped up on that too?
No, I don't got anything right now.
Perfect. Okay, well, guys, that will do it for this installment of the John Campea Show, sans John Campea. We really appreciate you being here, especially throughout the week with us. If you stuck it out with the Batman Beyond team, we really, really appreciate you guys. I know you signed up for John Campea, but sometimes he's just got to rest. He's just a man, people. All right, I want to thank everybody.
Just a man with courage. Nothing but a man.
I want to thank this musical man in the room with me.
Wow.
That's a little Flash Gordon for you. A little Queen.
Himself.
Rob, where can people find you?
Savior of the universe. Clearly not singing.
Bro?
Clearly not singing.
We lost Rob. Sorry, guys.
You can find me on Instagram at Robert RM Burnett. You can find me on Twitter at Burnett RM, or find me wherever on the Post Geek Singularity or the postgeeksingularity.com.
Nice. Ray, where can people find you?
I'm glad that I learned something about Rob today.
Yeah?
$200, you could come in his gate.
Wow. Could you please rephrase that? Maybe?
You said it.
You
not
said.
me.
Did I say that?
You did.
Yes,
you
you
did.
We'll watch the video later.
Oh, no.
But you can find me a Ray Aura with a 0 to anybody who's watching that's going to join me later. I look forward to beating up some foot soldiers.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's beat this game. And everyone have a good weekend. Is that Father's Day, right?
It is Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to my dad up there. And everyone be safe.
Awesome. And producer Jonathan, where can people find you?
You can find me watching Raid is Nothing Burgers, Twitter, Sonic if you want it.
Wonderful. And you can find me at Actor Chris Carr on Twitter and Instagram. Happy Father's Day, Jeff Carr. I love you very, very much. You're the best dad in the world. Thanks so much for being here with us, you guys. And until next time, we'll see you. Bye-bye.